Um, so I'll just get us started. So first of all, for those that are here, thank you for being here. And my name is Brett Richards. I'm the Assistant Dean for Graduate Education Research here in the Graduate College. This is our second Career and Professional Development seminar for this school year. This week we have representatives from the Journal of Visualized Experiments, which is one of the resources that is available to students and faculty here in Health Science Center through the library. Um, I'm going to kind of let them take it away and tell you about this resource.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Richards. Hi, everyone. This is Komal. I'm a customer success specialist here at Jove, and I'd be supporting OUHSC moving forward. Thank you so much, Aisha, for coordinating and scheduling this session with Annie. Today, we are going to look into what Jove is. I'll take you through the resources that you have access to. We'll jump onto playlist library, quiz library, which is available on the Jove platform. Now, these are the sections which would be relevant for faculty members to integrate resources into their Canvas and share with their students. I'll also touch upon a fantastic tool that's available to all the faculty members, which is called Jove LTI, available right within your Canvas. So let's get started. Let me share my screen here. All right. As I said, we'll be talking about Jove. So, Jove, as you know, is a video resource platform which provides both education as well as research content. OUHSC has access for both, that is research and education. And under research, we have certain collections. Under education, we have certain collections. We'll look into these shortly. Then we have a playlist library, which is like a list of videos that you have, because we have around 25,000 plus videos available on the platform. For your easy navigation on the platform, we have created this playlist library. And then we have a quiz library for you to use in terms of giving assessments to your students. We'll look into this as well. I'll touch upon my role as a curriculum specialist because it does not just restrict me to conducting webinars or a one-on-one faculty support, but we also have something called as creating curated list because we understand that the library is huge. So sometimes the faculty would not find the relevant resource in one particular section. So I would come into a picture where I can take your syllabus and I could map those for you in terms of a customized playlist. We'll look at that. And finally, as I mentioned, Jove LTI tool, which is available within your Canvas, which means that you don't have to create a separate account or sign into your Jove platform separately. So let's look into all of this and we'll take any questions that you have at the end of the session. Now, to explain Jove or to explain what exactly we do, we have this example of the process of DNA replication. So on the slide, you can see on the left-hand side, we have a textual article explaining the process of DNA replication, explaining different components that we have. And on the right-hand side, we have a video tutorial from Jove, which explains the process as to how the DNA polymerase synthesizes DNA. So it's very essential to understand what is a leading strand, lagging strand, 5' 3' reaction. These form the basic components of understanding the process. And now we understand why visualization is very important in education. Because if I come to the slide each and every time, my attention is directed towards a video and I can interpret what's written here in few seconds. So that's what we are doing here at Jove. If we talk about research, if we talk about education, in research, we want to increase the research reproducibility, reduce the kind of resources that we are using. We want to make sure that the video tutorial that we present, scientists are able to replicate the experiments. And in education, to increase the student engagement, because to explain a complex concept that might be there in a molecular biology subject would be very important or would be easily explained via a visual representation. So that's what we are going to look into here. Now, if I give you a classical case study in terms of how Jove could make a difference, is a study that was conducted at UCLA, where we gave a quiz to a set of students where no videos were administered or no videos were exposed to them. They gave this quiz and an average test score of 28.9% was recorded. While we exposed them to Jove video resources along with the questions. We saw a huge jump in the test score to around 90%. So this explains that why visualization is important, because it can help the student grasp the concept in a more clarity and clear defined manner. So that's what we are doing here, and that's how we are creating an impact. Now, I don't want to go into much of detail in terms of theory. We would want to do this together, where if you can open app.jove.com, which is app.jov.com, we can explore the Jove website together. So we go here, and this is the website. You can either go to www.jove.com or app.jove.com. Now, for faculty members, you don't have to go to the sign in option or create an account for yourself. But for students, it's essential for you to create an account so that you can access the resources that you have access to. Now, what you get here is a window where you get an option to create a new account. So you create a new account here, enter your institutional email address. Once you enter this, hit on create account. Now, after you hit on create account, a confirmation email will go to your inbox, wherein you can fill in your basic details with name, last name, your title, whether you're a student, whether you're a professor. It's important if you're a professor to mention professor or instructor so that you can access the playlist and the quizzes available on the platform. But for students, you can mention postgrad, PhD student, and proceed and log in. Now, since I already have my credentials in place, I would want to log in here. Now, once you log in on the platform, this is the landing page that you get. So before we go into any of the collections, I also wanted to show you that there's a search bar where this is the first browsing method. In case you want to search for any topic, let's say PCR, you can just type in that particular topic and you'll find all the relevant videos that are available on the website. So it's giving you videos everywhere, from journal, that is under the research section, science education, that is from the education section. If you want to refine your search, you can just click on education or research and you'll get the list of videos accordingly. So that's one way of searching for the video of interest. Let's go back. Now, we'll talk about the collections that you have access to. So on the top, we have this research section and we have education section. So you have access to both of these collections. Under research, you can see there are around 13 disciplines. And since most of you are from biomedical fields, all the subjects that are present here would be relevant to your subject or area of interest. And under the collections part, we have journal and encyclopedia of experiments. I'll shortly explain you what's the difference between these two. On the right-hand side, we have education section. This is going to be useful for undergrad, postgrad courses, and also used as a refresher to refresh your foundational concepts. So here we have 9 disciplines, and then we have 3 collections, starting with Jove Core, Jove Science Education, and Jove Lab Manual. Now let's look into each one of these collections. Now, since I come in from a neuroscience background, let me go into neuroscience, but feel free to explore the subject of your interest here. Under neuroscience, you can see the research collections that I was talking about. Journal and encyclopedia of experiments is available. Now, what is the difference here? Jove journal that we have is simply a research article with a video tutorial, where you can see the author explaining the research that he or she has conducted, what is the procedure that they followed, the protocol, and you can also see the scientists experimenting in the laboratory. So all that detailed understanding about step-by-step process can be visualized along with the research articles that is just present right below it. Now, the videos that you see here would be typically shorter in length, somewhere around 3 to 5 minutes. And you can also see that there's an option to download this as a PDF material, the research article that I was talking about, and the materials list. You can also cite this. You have an option to cite, and then you can add this to a playlist. So as and when you explore the website, if you find videos of your interest, you can start creating a playlist for yourself. You can create a new playlist, name it, and you can just check mark the playlist that you have created so that all the relevant videos get added to one single playlist that you have created. So that's about the Jove research section, the Jove journal. Whereas we have Jove Encyclopedia of Experiments. Now, the difference between these two is Jove Encyclopedia of Experiments would have animated plus live in motion video. So you'll see that there's an animated video in the beginning which explains you the concept. And then a scientist would be performing a basic technique. So the Encyclopedia of Experiments is more like advanced research techniques that are being used in different areas. So as you see here, the description of everything that's being used is being given in the video. And if you proceed further, you'll be able to see the scientist performing the experiment. So that's about the research section that you have, Journal and Encyclopedia of Experiments. Now, if I can take you to the education section or the education part of it, it has three collections. The first collection that we have is Jove Core, then it's Science Education, and then Lab Manual. Now, Jove Core, if I go into any one subject again, let's take clinical this time. Under clinical, you'll see we have core nursing, core medical surgical nursing, core anatomy and physiology, core pharmacology, and then we have this new collection called as Science Education Clinical Skills. So there are typically two collections that I talked about. So the core collection is mostly like a video textbook, which has around 90 seconds animated videos, which explains the key terms and concepts. So I've taken one video for an example here, which is coming in from Jove Core Pharmacology, Chapter 1, Journal Pharmacological Principles. Now, if I play this video, you'll see that this video is around 90 seconds in length. And these are high impact animated videos giving you explanation about each and every process that's happening. We have a playback speed. So for self-paced learning, we'll understand that students would want to, watch the video at a certain speed as and when they prepare for the lectures or for examinations. And we have a multiple audio and subtitle support. Let's say if somebody wants to understand this in their regional language, keeping in mind that we have multinational students, these features are going to be very, very useful. And then we have this full screen option, which can also be used in your Canvas module. So that's about the visualization features that you get, and it's available for every collection that we have. But besides that, if you scroll down, you'll see there's additional text that's available for the students to take down notes. And this can be very useful in terms of, even integrating to your Canvas course modules, because all of this integrates seamlessly. I'll take you through that shortly. But this is about the Jove Core collection, which is like short animated videos, explains basic key terms and concepts. Then we come to the science education part, and here I've taken an example from nursing collection where we have physical examinations. So if I can just take one step back. So under science education clinical skills for faculty of nursing and students of nursing, this would be very useful because whatever concepts that you're learning in core, you are able to apply this with respect to the practical applications you're able to see in the science education section. So under clinical sections or clinical skills, we have physical examinations, 1 up until 4, and we also have a separate nursing skills section which can be used. So all the basic techniques in terms of general approach to physical examinations, whether it's with respect to eye or different parts of your body, are explained here, where you actually get to see how the physician is, what kind of methods he's using, and what kind of landmarks do you need to use for. Now, one thing that I was interacting with a faculty, with a nursing faculty at Vanderbilt University mentioned was a lot of students, when I have like 10, 15 students in clinical setups where I want to demonstrate a particular landmark, the students who are in the front are able to see what exactly I am showing. But the ones that are at the back are not able to see the landmarks. And that can cause a little difference in terms of what they were supposed to learn. So this can be used as good refresher as a preparatory tool before your lectures or your visits. So these examination or the physical examination sections have been widely used by nursing faculty all over. Then this is about the science education clinical skills. Now, if I go to the last part, last collection, which we call, we have Jove Lab Manual. This is for students' hands-on learning, so laboratory experiments. Now, the difference that you'll see here with respect to the other collections is that we have a conceptual video which can be used for students to understand the concept behind the experiment to reduce the long lab sessions that we have. And then there's instructor prep, which is basically used by the instructor to prepare for the laboratory experiment or the lecture that they're going to conduct. And then there's student protocol, wherein you can see the videos are going to be different for each section, and these all can be integrated right within your Canvas. Along with that, below you get a procedural steps, wherein you can print the procedure steps. Students can come prepared with this, and they don't have to repeat it again and again because a video tutorial is right in front of them. So that's about the Jove Lab Manual collection. So we talked about these two sections, the research and the education section, wherein we have different disciplines and different collections depending on what is the need of the student and the faculty member. I don't want to make it one-sided, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask so that we can make this more interactive, and I can take in any questions in between also. Uh, all right. I think we don't have any questions. Okay, so let's move to the next section. So this was about the collection that you have access to. Now we have something called as playlist library. Now this was created with a purpose that we understand we have different collections, but how would a faculty member navigate through all these collections? They would want to find the videos of their interest. So all you need to do is you need to come to playlist library, and then you have the Jove collections. You can go to the subject directly, or you can first choose the product. You have Jove Core, which is like a video textbook, which I explained, and then you go into the subject. So under subject, let's say I want to take something from nursing. So once I select nursing, all the chapters that are relevant with respect to this topic would appear here. And if I click on, let's say, the first chapter, which is Introduction to Nursing, you could use this as a refresher where you could add a playlist and share it with your students where they can watch these videos. So when they come to the lectures, they are well prepared. You can also add a video in your Canvas course modules and add a set of questions where a discussion sort of thing can be created in the lecture so that it's more interactive and not that they're just watching the videos and going through the lectures. So this is the list of videos that I was talking about, which we call as playlist. So that's about the playlist library. And then we have quizzes here, wherein you can create assessments for your students. So again, if I choose clinical, and let's say this time we choose core pharmacology, you can further narrow it down using the chapters. I want to understand adverse drug effects and chemical toxicity. So any quizzes related to that is something that I want to give it to my students as an ungraded quiz. I just have to select whatever quiz titles I'm interested in to create a questionnaire out of it. Then you can click on create quiz with 3 selected. Now what happens here is on the left hand side you can see the preview of the video along with the questions that are enlisted. So anything that you want to change here in terms of the question, the responses, you can change that. If you want to remove something you feel that is not relevant to the video or is not relevant to your class, you can remove the questions right away. And then you also have an option to add your own personalized question. So personalization is something that's very important. So you can directly add a question here, add an image, and add your responses. Once all of these settings is done, you can simply save this. You'll have to make additional settings here in terms of what do you want the quiz title's name to be. So let's say if I give it as test, what is the duration that you want to give to the students? If you want to give 15 minutes, 30 minutes, that can be mentioned here. We usually keep it graded, but in case you want to keep it as ungraded to do a SWOT analysis, you can do that. And this would be restricted so the students can access the quiz using the institutional email address. And then you basically go ahead with indefinite quiz so that they have access up until the due date. And then quiz attempts, we can allow up to 3 attempts here. And you can also allow closed captions for the students and then click on done. I'll have to remove this. Okay. Once all of the settings are done, you can save this and then you can go back to my quizzes. So what you're typically doing here is you're creating a quiz and from the library, and then you are adding it to your Canvas. So let's go back to my quizzes. So whatever that you have chosen from quiz library will reflect in your account under my quizzes. So these are the two sections that you can use for adding any relevant resources for your Canvas courses. But as I was talking about, you can access, especially the faculty members, you can access the Jove platform right within your Canvas. So you don't have to go on to www.jove.com or app.jove.com. You can simply come to Canvas, and here I've just created a demo module, which is Jove videos. You can either add resources to your existing module or a new module. So let's say if you add a new module, you can go to plus sign here. And from here, you have external tool. So this is like an external tool that has been added to your Canvas by your LMS admin. So this particular naming would be different probably. So it can either reflect as Jove videos or Jove LTI tool. You can click on Jove videos here. Once you do that, it redirects you to the platform wherein you just have to click on continue in a new window and you land onto the Jove platform. So it's a seamless interaction between the LMS and Jove's platform. So here you have landed on the subject collections. On the left-hand side, you have all the collections and you have the products, depending on what you want to use. And from here, you can start selecting the videos of your interest. So let's say if I go ahead with the first embedding technique, which we call as adding single videos. Let's say you're not interested in a list of videos because sometimes faculty members have mentioned that it can be overwhelming for the students. I want to cover something basic from human body. So I would go into core anatomy and physiology. And let's say I want to use some of the videos from diagnostic imaging techniques. So I just click on plus icon here and add these videos. And even if you move to a different chapter, your progress would be saved, meaning this will not be lost. And you can keep adding videos from different selections. Even if you go to a different collection altogether, let's say research, you will still be able to add whatever videos that you find are relevant. And just a moment. And just hit on submit. So this way, you see that the videos have been added individually. And if I click on any of the video here, you'll see the features that I showed you on the website. That was with respect to the playback speed, the audio and subtitle support. Everything is going to be intact. So this is a video that we just saw. Here's a playback speed. Here is the audio and subtitle support. And you can also put it to full screen. Now, along with that, I also mentioned that you will get an additional text, which is available on the website. So students can use this text to take down notes. If you want to add any description for your students to go through, you can also do that. So this was about adding single videos through the Jove website using LTI tool. Again, if you want to access the playlist, that is a list of videos or the quizzes or assessments, you go to the plus sign, external tool, and then we go to Jove videos. From here, we continue in a new window. And this time what we'll do is we'll go to the playlist section. So this was a collection wherein we looked at adding single videos. If you want to add a playlist, we go to the playlist section. And we have Jove collections. Let's say I want to go into Jove core and anatomy and physiology. This time I'm interested in the fundamentals of chemistry. So I would go here, I would click on add to my playlist. Now there's a need to add this to your playlist because in case you do not want any of the videos that are available in this list, you can simply remove them out. If you want to add something from the Jove website which is not already available here, you can type in for that subject or the topic. Let's say I've just typed in PCR, so you can drag the video here and it would be added to your existing list. And then you can simply save it. So all the customization that is required is available once you add this to your playlist. Once you have done that, you will be able to see this in your account, which is under my playlist section. And from there are two options. Either you can combine this as a single file where the videos are compressed in one single file, or you can add this as individual videos. A lot of faculty prefer adding this as individual videos because then you can add this in different week, or if some video you find is relevant for the last week, you can just rearrange it accordingly. So these have been added as individual videos. Let's say if I had another module, I could just drag and drop this to a different module altogether. So that's about adding a playlist here. And now we'll just look at the final embedding technique, that is with respect to adding an assessment. So we'll go to the Jove videos again. And this time we go to quizzes. Now we have quiz library here. So we'll go into pharmacology. And then under products, let's say I want something from pharmacokinetics. And from chapters, let's say the first one. Okay, we don't have anything on this. So let's say biostatistics introduction. All we do is we add the quiz titles that are of our interest. We create a quiz out of it. And we can preview this on the left-hand side, as I mentioned. We can remove anything that we do not want. We can add a separate question. We can choose from a quiz library. And then we need to do the settings. "20 minutes. I want to keep it restricted. Want to give 2 attempts and close captions. Click on done. So once this is done, we can go back to my quizzes. And from there, we can add this quiz to our canvas. So if you click on here, this is how the quiz appears in your Canvas course folder. So the allowed time would be mentioned, the questions, the current attempt, and then you can start on with the quiz. The students will have to attempt all of the questions in one go and within the stipulated time period that's been given to them. They'll watch the video first, and once they've watched it, they can proceed with the questioning and then hit on submit. So all this would also be linked to the gradebook, so you don't have to create a separate column for it. It happens seamlessly. So this was about adding single video, a playlist, and a quiz. If you also want to explore the courses, so what we have also done is we have recognized that there are commonly taught courses across different universities, which is directly mapped on a platform. So if you go to the playlist library, on the playlist library, we first saw the Jove collections, which is the Jove library. Then we have the courses. Let's say you are interested in clinical medicine. So all the courses that are being taught, these are already being mapped to the Jove videos. Like you will not directly find some content on dentistry. So you can utilize the courses section. And from here, it's the same process that you follow. The list of videos which are coming in from different collection. As you see, Jove Journal Medicine, Biology. And all you have to do in terms of adding this to your playlist is add to my playlist, do the necessary changes, and then you will be able to add it to your Canvas. Similarly, with respect to courses, we also have something for exam prep for an easy revision for MCAT. So all the videos with respect to foundational concepts have been arranged here, which can be used and shared with the students. Students can also create an account, as I showed in the beginning, and access these videos. And finally, we have the textbook sections. A lot of faculty love this section because the videos are already mapped to the textbook that they're heavily using in their classes. So you can select the subject, let's say go to clinical, and we have the map textbooks right here. Now, in terms of using this, either you can directly use it on the platform, the students can use it. along with, reading the textbooks over a period of 4 years that usually students practice. They could also watch these videos. For faculty members, you can just click on the chapter, add this to your playlist. Once you add all the chapters into your playlist, you'll be able to add this to your Canvas. So this was with respect to the textbook section. Yeah. So that was about the Jove resources and the playlist and the Quest platform. And I am here to support in any way I can. This is loading. I'm so sorry for that. Okay. So yeah, this was about the Jove collection that I wanted to show you and the resources, and that's how you can integrate the resources into your Canvas. Now, if I can just go back, actually, this is taking a lot of time. Let me go here. Right. Now, I wanted to take you through one section, which is under engineering, which I feel is going to be very relevant. So, under engineering, we have science education engineering. Now, the bioengineering section is not directly available on the website. So, what you can do is you can go to science education, and here we have a bioengineering collection with respect to medical device development. All the videos would be found here, can be found here. And then we have biomedical engineering, for which we have videos here. So this is another section that you can look into. So there are different collections which have relevant videos, and that is where I can come into the picture and I can just show you the relevant section where you can look into. And that's about Joe video resources in short. Let me just come back to my slide. Yeah, so as a next step, this is for the faculty members. In case you'd like a curated playlist, something that you feel is not available directly on the website, I can create a customized playlist with the subject matter expert team that we have. And I would be sharing my meeting booking link and the contact details, where we can have a quick 15-minute session in terms of how to use this in your Canvas course folder. And I would be happy to assist. So that's about Jove. Thank you so much for hearing me out patiently. I know it went monotonous a bit from my end because there was too much information and a little bit of less interaction. Aisha has already shared the details in the chat box. In case anybody would like to connect, I would be happy to do so. Let's take any questions you have. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you for your presentation. I had one question. So excuse me, how often are new videos or new material added to the site? And how would you find out about that if you were going on there?
Yes, let me do one thing. So we have a production calendar in place wherein we decide the set of collections that we would be releasing quarter-wise or semester-wise. I would share that link with you. Just give me a minute so that you can also find what collections are going to be coming up. Because right now, if you see, we do not have something in mathematics, and that's something we have been receiving requests from faculty all around. So we are working on that, and that would be released in sometime in October. So also such collections would be released, and that information you can find on our content map page. Let me just share that. So I've shared it in the chat. So this is a roadmap that we have wherein you can find like what collection we have at the moment and which is a collection that we are working on in terms of what's the roadmap for it.
Okay.
Hi, this is Joy, and I have a question, but I also just have a follow-up comment that the library subscribes to pretty much all the content that comes out on Jove. Previously, we were selecting specific areas of specialization, and finally, a few years ago, we just bought the entire collection because there's so much that goes across disciplines. And my question for you, Kamal, is that I get statistics for the viewing of articles and then for the actual audiovisual content. And so I'm wondering, when instructors come to you for assistance, can I also get those statistics? Because that's behind the scenes. And to me, that's just as important as to, how many faculty are taking advantage of the services that are offered to assist them to integrate materials into Canvas or with any other questions that they might have.
Mhm.
Is
Yes,
that a
so
problem?
yes, definitely. I can give you an insight into that. But Joy, mostly it all depends on the understanding in terms of whether the faculty is aware that they have subscription. Because a lot of times we have found that a lot of faculty do not know. They end up going on Joe website, asking for a trial or something like that. So in terms of them reaching out to the customer support is whether they have an understanding that they have an access to the subscription. But yes, I can get you that data because that's going to be very important as well.
And then just a comment about statistics, because Jove is not inexpensive. And so I encourage individuals to make use of it. It's very robust and has a lot of facets to it. But if
Yeah.
we aren't having individuals use it, whether it be students or faculty,
Mhm.
with budgets the way they are, it certainly is a consideration that we may not be able to take it if we don't have increased usage. So
Yeah.
please share it with your faculty colleagues, students, because I would really like to. I think it's a great resource. You guys need to be the judge of that because you are the ones that are the specialists. But if at all possible, I think it would be great to keep, because we have students that are much more visually oriented than they are print oriented. So just keep that in mind and share it with your friends.
Hi, Komal. I want to ask you a quick question on the quizzes.
Mhm.
Is that an instructor-only feature, or is that available for students, like practice questions after they've watched a video or seen a presentation?
Yes, thank you, Professor Shankar, for that question. So, the feature that I showed you in terms of using a playlist or a quiz, it's not accessible for the student. Though they can create a playlist or a quiz, they wouldn't be able to use it. So, this is something that's only available for the instructors. You remember when I said that in the beginning, you have to mention professor instructor as your title. That's where the differentiation comes into the picture, and even in terms of integrating into your Canvas. I mean, the access is only for the instructors. Students can only access the collections that we have on the platform, but not the playlist and the quiz feature.
Okay, and so in terms of the number of questions, is there like a question bank for each topic? Like if you
Yes.
run the course a second time, do you get a different set of questions, or?
Yes. So, typically on the Jove website, there are set of pre-made quizzes. Let's say for a topic, Introduction to Human Body, if you see the quiz title only has around 9 questions. So each and every time you go there and select, it'll only give you 9 questions. So there are pre-made questions or set number of questions for each title that we have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just one other comment, in that the integration into Canvas,
Mhm.
the library staff worked with the instructional technology folks in learning spaces to make sure that happened. So it doesn't just come automatically. There was some work behind the scenes that had to be done to ensure that the two could link together.
Yes. So there was already an LMS implementation in place where the LMS admin has done the implementation for Joe inside your Canvas. So that was a backend work which has already been done. And thank you so much, Joy, for mentioning that.
I would just like to say, to tack on to what Joy is saying, and in expressing that this is a great resource for faculty. And this would also be a great push in the upcoming deadline for accessibility that's coming with media, with all the integrations of closed captioning and being
Yeah.
able to change into other languages. Just a point to continue to push with faculty members, that this would be a good way to integrate those visual aspects into things and still be compliant with that upcoming law.
Annie, thank you for that. That is really important and it's significant, so I appreciate that.
Yes, I absolutely missed on to the point of having neurodivergent students because that's also going to be an essential point there, whether it's with respect to the closed caption, audio subtitle support. The features really do a great way in terms of, involving all these students that we have.
Just a quick question, if I may. It's Anne Pereira here. I was just wondering, with your other subscribers, can you tell me, as Joy mentioned, we want to reach out to as many faculty and students and postdocs as possible. And how are some of the other universities and colleges that are successful in getting students to sign on and actually look at this information? Do you know what methods they are using? We have been just, our standard email newsletter, special announcement like today, but we
Yeah.
haven't really done any launch or particular sort of advertising for this program. And I know we've had it running for many years. So sometimes I feel when things have been around for years, people just sort of shut their ears down and think, oh, I know all about that. I don't need to be on that webinar, or, I don't need to know. And we're just wondering how we can actually reach out. Do you have any sort of magic approaches that would help?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking that because I can understand the struggle with it. So, Professor Ann, one thing that I've seen across all the subscribers that we have, and we keep emphasizing this point again and again. I do understand your schedules are really busy, but the classic way to, introduce your students to Jove is sharing the resources via your Canvas. And since the support is complimentary, I am more than happy to do the heavy lifting for you. All I need is 15 minutes of your time. And I wouldn't make this just fast. I would make sure that you have all the resources in place. So if you can share the resources, because what you're doing is you're picking and choosing the relevant resources into your Canvas. If students go onto the platform, they create an account for themselves, they'll go and explore all the collections, get confused also, and may not be focused on the right resource for themselves. So the best way to do is if faculty can, for whatever course that they're teaching, if they can look into the resources that is going to be relevant for that particular course that they're teaching and embed the resource into your Canvas. Canvas is the best method to expose students to the resources. There's no need for students to create separate accounts and explore. Only if there are postgrad and PhD students, I can understand because you have research and you would want to explore from your own end instead of going by other faculty route. But yes, Canvas is the only way. And you did mention that we have newsletters and all of it. We do make sure that we can share it with the faculty and librarians and subject librarians that we have. But for students, Canvas is something that can be utilized in terms of assessments, resources that we have in place.
So it sounds like we should be targeting faculty, course directors more than actually, going direct to the students and hoping that course directors and faculty decide to use some of this information in their course instructions and lectures. And that might get the students more involved in exploring some of the other modules that they might be able to look at. But that's helpful to know. Thank you.
Yeah, because most typically, if I can give you an example, students resort to all sort of platforms. They would want to do that research, and they are tech savvy. And even if we go to them and give them an example, they would know it already, and they'll say, "Okay, I know this already." So so that's how it is. But since you start introducing them to these resources and say that, hey, you have to look at these video resources before coming to the lecture or before coming to the lab, that's when they start taking interest. Even with respect to assessments, they don't see it as a typical assessment that you're giving them only with questions. You have a video and they are actually watching it again and again and again, and it's also helping them understand the concept with more clarity. So that's the way to do it.
And we've been focusing on graduate students, but clearly there is a lot of content there for our professional students as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's an area that we have not really targeted. We've just been sort of blinkered and focused on our postdocs and grad students, but we just discuss internally and see how we can maybe get this on a wider basis to some of the professional programs. Like
Yes.
nursing and pharmacy, as all of the drug development sort of, process and things like that, that would be very helpful.
Yes, definitely. You're very correct there. I can also look into certain flyers that we have, which I can share with you in terms of, student-centered approach, and can share it with you, Joy, and Richards, which can be shared with the students and faculty. We can also look into that, and let's see how that goes. But I would really be happy to connect with faculty on one-on-one basis, because that's where I get to understand what is the challenge they are facing in terms of why they want to use Jove. They have it, that's fine, but why do they want to use Jove? That's very important for us. So let's see. I'm really hopeful to seeing how we can, turn this around.
All right. Anyone else with questions before we wrap up? Okay, guess not. Well, thanks again for your presentation. That was very helpful. And thanks to those who did join us today. And for those of you, anyone watching this recording, please do join us for our live sessions. So we'll have our next CPD event in just 1 month. All right.
All right.
So, thank you, Aisha.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day ahead. I look forward to connecting with you.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Joy.
Thank you.